I cannot count how many times I've accidentally called this movie Battle at the El Royale. I have no idea why, but it's been way more than a few. Hello ladies and gentlemen and movie lovers of all kind, and welcome back to another new release review, and for today, I will be covering Bad Times at the El Royale. So Bad Times at the El Royale was directed by Drew Goddard. It stars John Hamm, Dakota Johnson, Jeff Bridges, Cynthia Erivo, and Chris Hemsworth, as well as a few other notable names. And the story follows 7 strangers, all with secrets to bury, as they meet up at the Hotel El Royale on one stormy night. So I was super excited to see this movie. It seemed like a more modern, kind of slick, stylish version of Quentin Tarantino's The Hateful Eight, which came out a couple years ago. That was kind of like a cowboy movie with a very similar premise. A group of strangers meet up at a secluded area for a period of time due to a storm. Pretty much the same thing, except that was a cowboy movie. This is, I believe, set in the 60s or 70s. So yeah, I was really excited for it. So to start off with the positives, guys, it's going to be the performances in this movie. They were astounding. I kid you not. Everybody in this movie sold me their parts like that. It was so easy to them, it was like breathing air. They really embodied these people. There wasn't one person in this whole movie that I wasn't impressed by, so the performances across the board were amazing, and they really probably are the driving force of this movie. Without these people playing these characters, giving these amazing performances, I really don't think this movie would be what it is. Next, the soundtrack to this movie. The soundtrack is incredible. I'm just gonna say it. I don't know many of the songs, but regardless, whenever they came on, I was tapping my foot, bobbing my head, shaking in my seat. They were really, really good. They lend in the movie beautifully. So many scenes were kind of like Baby Driver, where things were going in sync with the music, with other things that were going on. It made the more intense moments that much more intense. It led to the atmosphere so wonderfully. And the score and the soundtrack worked perfectly in harmony to make this movie something really special. Next, the overall aesthetic of this movie, which is the look. It had this kind of very neo-noir look to it, and I loved that. I love neo-noir things, and not necessarily a full-blown neo-noir type movie, but overall just the kind of the neon sign, the dingy-looking hotel rooms. It's right on the line there. It's between California and Nevada. One side is California, it's all sunny and beautiful and nice. The other side is like Vegas, and it's got the slot machines and everything. And I just overall love the whole look. I believe it's got a 60s vibe. It has like vending machines that give you pie and stuff. I love the overall aesthetic of this movie, and it's something that I really, really enjoyed that I wasn't expecting. I didn't realize that it was set in this time period, but I'm very glad it was. And next, I'm giving extra special props to Drew Goddard. He wrote and directed this movie, and I feel like his vision came to fruition exactly as he expected it. The tone of this movie was amazing, the atmosphere, that all comes from his direction, and the movie was so intelligently written, it keeps you on the edge of your seat the entire time. This is a no-holds-barred type of movie. Nobody is safe. The mystery element of this is phenomenal. Next, the violence in this movie, it's not really very frequent in the movie. It's kind of more so the second half of the movie. It picks up a little bit, but when it does happen, it is brutal, it is fast, it is unflinching. Like I said, not frequent, but when it hits hard. It is very, very hard. It's not super graphic or anything like that. It has just kind of the right amount of realism to it. Next to the fact that there were so many very intense moments in this movie, I cannot count how many times I was holding my breath. Like seriously, when I got out of this movie, by the end, I finally felt like I was like, oh. And that's part of what made this movie so good. It was that intense, I was like white-knuckling my chair, terrified for these characters and what was to come next. I never knew what to expect next, so it was very intense. Like I said, nobody is safe, so you really can't predict anything in this movie. It is very unpredictable. And next is the overall mystery of this movie. All 7 of these people have secrets to bury. They're all here for different reasons, but the thing is, you don't know what those reasons are. You don't know if there's any personal connections there. You really don't know what these people are doing. The backstory lends to that, as you do get some backstory throughout this movie. If it didn't work as well as it did, this movie wouldn't be what it is. And lastly is the editing style of this movie, whether it's the camera work or the way they tell the story. Both are phenomenally done. You take all those positives, you smush them into one big ball. Sometimes you might get a bit of a mess, an overstuffed movie, whatever you want to call it. But no, with this movie, it just fits perfectly, and it's just one beautiful movie up and down. Although there are a couple negatives to this movie, they're basically the same thing, but it's things I feel like should be addressed. The movie is a slow burn. That's not the negative. The negative is that I feel at times the pacing could have been picked up a little bit, only at times, really. You know, sometimes you're following characters do a certain thing for 5 minutes, you're like, oh, okay, and then when it hits like 10 minutes, you're like, oh, okay, it'd be nice to cut to something else. Most of the time the character interactions are fine. Sometimes the conversations do go on a bit long. Some of them are super interesting and you're fine with them the whole time. But other times you're like, alright, I'm kind of tired of seeing these people right now. Can we cut to something a little more intense? Overall, I'm fine with the slow burn movies. I love slow burn movies as long as they keep me interested. This one did for the most part. I'm talking like 95% of the movie, which also leads me to my next point in the fact that I feel like the movie is just a shy too long. Like literally just a little teensy bit too long. long, shave off 10 minutes, only 30 seconds here and there of those pacing issues, pick up the movie a little bit, would have been maybe clocked in at 210 or so, 205, and I feel like it would have made the movie just that much better. So overall, folks, those are my thoughts on Bad Times at the El Royale. I really enjoyed it. I had a really fun time, one of the most intense and fun times that I've had at the theater all year. I'm going to be giving Bad Times at the El Royale an 8 out of 10. So folks, if you like this video, be sure to like, subscribe, and comment, and let me know what were your thoughts on Bad Times at the El Royale, as well as how many times have you called it Battle at the El Royale. And be sure to hit me up on social media. I'm on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. Links will be in the description and at the end of the video. And be sure to check out my Instagram every Friday for the Fan Vote Friday. Currently round 2 of the Halloween challenge is going on right now, so if you haven't already, go and vote. And as always, folks, thank you so much for watching, and that's a wrap. Alright. White boy.